Alright, well today's a big day. We finally got the parts in we needed to get this in. We got stuck because the throwout bearing, that bad boy right there, when I took it off the bracket was broken, so I had to order a new part with the bracket. So that finally came in yesterday, so we're ready to go. I think we got everything lined up, ready to go. Believe it or not, we're waiting for paint to dry. There was a bracket that I needed to paint before we put the car together, and of course the paint that I bought takes 2 hours to dry, so I don't know. We're not going to wait 2 hours. I'm just going to go in wet. But motor's ready to go, and we got all the parts lined up. New clutch to go in. All the bolts and everything are ready to go. So we'll see how this goes. I'll attempt to do a time lapse, but I don't have my cameraman here today, so we'll see what happens. So we got the motor out, or down off the stand, and started to put the clutch together. And we noticed when we took it apart that one of these levers was loose, and then once we got the clutch off it was fine, but then when we put it back on, oh, I'm blocking the thing here, try this again. Once we put it on, it's still loose, and then I realized that there's a spring. I don't know if you can see that. There's a spring here in this one, right there, which this one does not have. No spring. And the local auto parts places don't carry them, so I had to order it online, and they won't get here till Wednesday. So next time you see this, it'll be, today's now Saturday, so it'll be Wednesday or Thursday. And hopefully we'll get this thing stabbed in. Well, it's now Thursday. We hit the snafu on Saturday with the pressure plate, and the new one came in last night. Finally everything is installed. And I guess everything happens for a reason, because I went to put the pressure plate on and realized that when we put the flywheel on, we used gasket maker rather than thread lock. So a note to Permatex, they need to make their tubes different colors so you can tell the difference. The one on the right is gasket maker, the one on the left is thread lock. So we had to take everything apart and put it all back in with the correct thread lock in it, but it's all ready to go. Motor should go in today, I hope, and then we'll move on from there. So close. Well, what I thought would be a couple-hour job turned into a 3-day job. So we tried to install originally with the transmission in the car, and then stab the motor into the transmission. We tried that for 3 hours yesterday. If you can see from the slow-mo, we got close. It was about a ½ inch off, but we could not get it all the way in. So we pulled the motor out a little bit, dropped the transmission today, and then reinstalled the motor, put the motor in first, and then installed the transmission into the motor, and it finally went in. So it is finally all home. The transmission is buttoned back up, drive line's back in. It looks pretty. Got a lot of stuff left to put on, but all the top end stuff needs to go on. And then the next big question is the radiator. I took the radiator in this week to get cleaned and rotted, and it was rotten, basically. So it's not salvageable. So it was $450 to get it record, which I didn't have the money for, so I bought a replacement on Amazon that looks like it's gonna fit, but we won't know until we mock it up. So hopefully that fits, and we'll get moving, and maybe next week sometime we'll have this thing back on the road. We'll see. Getting close. Keep in touch, subscribe and like the videos. Until next time.